My name's Randell. I'm part of the Commons. We're a tiny little church plant in downtown Hamilton. It was only 5 years ago today that the Commons was officially welcomed into MCEC, and so I haven't been a Mennonite for very long. It was 7 years ago that the Commons started looking for a denominational home, and we were hearing from a lot of our mentors, our smart friends, that we seemed to be drawn to churches with Anabaptist roots. And we didn't even know what that meant, but as we looked into it, we said, we're a little Anabaptist-y. And so we decided to start reaching out to Mennonites and see if that might be a home for us. And someone passed on Brian Bowman's email, and we started talking about what it might look like for the Commons to be part of the Mennonite tribe at MCEC. And as I think back to that journey, I see some key moments that reflect this idea of standing firm in one spirit, striving side by side. The first couple times I met with Brian, he always brought one more Mennonite with him. That could be your slogan, Brian, bring one more Mennonite with you. And so that first time, Brian brought Troy Watson with him, who was at Quest at the time. And so my first experience of MCEC was through the stories of an Anabaptist church plant that looked a little bit like the Commons, but was trying something new in St. Catharines. The second time I met with Brian, he brought Alyssa Bender from Hamilton Mennonite Church. And I got to hear about what MCEC was already doing in my city and the history of Mennonites in Hamilton. Every time I met with Brian about MCEC, the community circle was being widened for my church, and our network was expanding. We were quickly learning that we weren't building a relationship with an organization or an office, but with a community of peers, a family of fellow Jesus followers. I'm not gonna lie, church planting is not easy, and replanting and trying to find a denomination, that's even harder. But going through that process taught me so much about this idea of striving side by side with one mind for the gospel. Every denomination that the Commons talk to has their own version of a missions minister. And we talked to a bunch of Brian's counterparts, and every single one of them, including Brian, said something like this to us: if you feel a personal connection to me, but my denomination isn't a good fit for you, I'm happy to still help you walk through this process and help you find a good church home, even if it isn't with us. That happened again and again and again. And you need to know that in MCEC and so many of our sister denominations, the Holy Spirit is building bridges, and Jesus followers are putting the kingdom first and the bigger picture of the church ahead of their own little fences and own little boundaries. This is just one of the many stories where I've seen the spirit of unity working in MCEC, and it makes me proud to be a Mennonite. Now, I've been told that humble Mennonites aren't supposed to use words like proud. I think it was Brian that told me that. But I'm telling you that Mennonites should be proud of good things like the times we put the kingdom first.